So this is a 2023 Midwest Automotive Designs Luxe Cruiser. This is the short wheelbase, the 144, 4x4. These are the black rhino wheels. It does have the owl ladder and spare tire carrier. So I'm going to give you a quick tour of the van and how to use major components. So out here on the outside, that is where we fill our onboard water tank, right? Take off that little cap, plug in screw in a water hose, and you can fill up your onboard water tank. That's not a city water connection, that is for drinking water, onboard water tank. Now this right here, this connection, that is your actual city water connection. That provides pressurized water at your fixtures inside, at your faucets, toilet, that kind of stuff. Now right below it, that connection there, you take off that cap and there's another connection for a water hose. Please do not use the same drinking water hose you use for this connection up here. For that, you want to use a regular hose. That is to flush out your tank. That flushes out your gray water tank. This right here is where you connect your shore power cable. Take that, lifts up, and then you can connect your 30 amp shore power cable. And this, of course, is the dump valve. Now this dump valve is right underneath the toilet, kind of giving you the impression that that's where you dump the black tank. That is actually for the gray water. So the tank for that is on the other side. It is actually for the gray tank. The one for the black tank is actually on the other side. Now over here you have, this is the dump for the black tank. So this is the, sits opposite of the toilet. So they're kind of crisscrossed. That is the flush for the black tank. And that thing right here that I'm pointing at, that is storage for a sewer hose. Outlet, media connections. Now out here underneath your running boards, it does have outdoor speakers. There is a switch right here. Here is where you add your fuel. Open the driver door, you can have access to this door. Diesel fuel. Now here is your hood release. We're going to pop that. Under here, in this particular van, there's your windshield washer fluid right there. This is where you add depth fluid, okay? Now the depth fluid is monitored inside. There's a gauge inside. Now the battery for this is underneath the floorboards in the front. And this one has a house power battery. The coach battery back there. I don't know if you can see it there. So this has the 360 view camera system by Mercedes. There's a camera there under the logo. And there's cameras under each mirror. See that? And there is a camera mounted up high here in the back. Now additionally, we're going to open the door and take a look at some stuff here in the back. So back here in the back, these shades are manual. You can lift them right there. Toilet, electric flush toilet. You can see you have eco, normal, and empty the bowl. Behind this panel, that's where the inverter lives. Typically, you're not going to do anything here. I mean, this is for service, maintenance, whatnot. There is a little fuse block in there, but typically you're not going to mess with anything in here. There is the Apple TV. That's where it lives, but that is controlled through the remote. So typically you're not going to have to come in here for any reason. There are buttons here, but those are controlled through the Firefly touch control system on the inside that we'll see in a minute. And then over here is our other panel, electrical panel. So here Now this is the what they call the G12 board. This is the brains behind the Firefly multiplex control, touch control system. Typically there's nothing to do here with the exception of this right here. This right here is our Wi-Fi router. That's the only time you need to mess with that is if you decide you want to use the Wi-Fi system, subscribe to the Wi-Fi service. Then there needs to be some interaction that takes place, whether you activate the onboard SIM cards that are located here, or put in your own SIM card from your own provider. In which case you got to remove these two screws so you can get to that little door that's hidden back there and put in your SIM card. Anyhow, now additionally we have more fuses here. These are 12 volt automotive style fuses. They're all labeled. As your 30 amp shore power cable. Your refrigerator, 12 volt refrigerator. This has a little lock right here. Now that is the control knob for the refrigerator. All the way to the right is the coldest setting. All the way to the left is off. So a little freezer section. Microwave up there. Vent. And of course a sink. Now coming up into the van, we of course have integrated TVs. For example, we have one TV that's integrated into the door that goes to the bathroom area. There's another TV integrated into the front overhead area here. Anyway, so here we're inside. You have a couple of captain's chairs here. They do have seat leg rests that come up. That's on each of those too. Now this is not something that is on all Luxe Cruisers. This one in particular was ordered that way, so it comes that way. Some of them are similar but do not have the power leg rests. Most of them, I believe all of them, do have the power massaging seats. And that is actually true of the front seats as well. Now the fronts, of course, do not have the power leg rests. Now we do have a lap table that comes out. Like so. And of course our radio. And there's a touch screen here for this passenger that sits right here. Now these seats are also, I forgot to mention, these seats are also heated. So down there you have that knob. That knob is for the heated seats. This one on this seat on this side is located back there. As well as you can see, you got USB ports for charging your phone. There's some more ports back here behind this seat, and plenty of cup holders. So all our remotes for our two TVs and our Apple TV, and those all play through that radio. Actually, that TV in the front plays through the radio. That TV in the back does not. That does not have integrated speakers. The back TV only plays through the wireless headphones. This does have, of course, AM, FM capability as well as Bluetooth. So you can pair that. There's an app you can download to control that radio. That radio can also be controlled from any of these touch screens. There's one up front too and as well as the master one back here in the back. So you can control that radio through any of that. The driver can control it through that touch screen, which is amazing. Now, moving on to the back here, that satchel right there has all our owner's manuals as well as extra keys and the Mercedes manuals for the van. These seats here, these bench seats, this is like a jackknife, so you can fold these out, and this basically makes like a small bed back here if you needed a bed. Now here is our main touch control panel of the system. So you have a number of icons here on the left. So each one of these is a different page. This is our home page. So on our home page, we have a master control for all the lights. We can see the status on our fresh, gray, and black tanks. Water pump, onboard water, right there. We have tank heaters. Yeah, so the heating pads are, like, basically heating elements that are glued to the underside of these 3 tanks to keep them from freezing should you ever find yourself in a freezing environment. Now these right here show you status on your batteries. You have chassis battery and house battery. Chassis battery, of course, is the engine battery that's underneath the floorboards just forward of the driver's seat. And then the house battery on this particular model is sitting in the engine bay on the passenger side of the engine bay. Some of the ones that have the lithium package will typically have them in the back underneath the coach. But in any case, this is where you monitor them. You can see the voltage on those batteries. And I mean, you can obsess about the voltage that you should be seeing there. Normally at rest, these are going to be around 13 volts, somewhere in that vicinity. Right now they're shown higher because there's incoming charge since the engine is currently running. But normally the main thing that you need to focus on is not so much the voltage. I tell people, look at the color. It's designed to make it real easy at a glance to see if the status of your stuff. So green, if you see green, you're in good shape. If they appear yellow, if one or the other appears yellow, then we got a problem. Or not necessarily a problem, but one of the battery banks is, or both are potentially low and need to be recharged. If they were in the red, then this panel's fixing to not work, as well as a lot of your stuff, because red would indicate a severely low battery bank, whichever it may be. So yeah, red no good, green is good. Yeah, yellow is like caution, it's getting low. Water pump, that activates the onboard water pump. You only need to use that when you're using water from the tank right here. If you're using the onboard water, like I said, yes, you do need your pump. However, if you're at a campground and you're connected to city water, at the city water port that I showed you earlier, you do not need to use that water pump. This right here is where you can adjust the air conditioning. If you have the air conditioning system turned on, you can control the set point right here, as well as from the air conditioning page that we're about to see. And then this little snowflake tells us that the compressor is currently on and the fan is blowing on low. So this another icon we have here is our Fusion radio, the Fusion radio I just showed you. This link will take us to controls for that radio. As you can see, this is where we can control stuff. So you have zone 1, which is the speakers up there. Zone 2, that's these speakers here in the back. Then we have zone 3. Zone 3 is the speakers that are under the running boards. And then global, that's the master control for everything. So let's come back here. So other things we have here, we have lighting control. So this is where we can control the different lights in here, right? So we also have this electrical page that shows us the batteries once again, as well as the ability to turn off the inverter that I showed you back there, hidden back there. Normally that defaults to being on. You want it on, you do not need to turn that off. It normally runs itself. Don't worry about operating that separately. Then the air conditioning page. This is where we can control our Premier AC system. On this van, the air conditioning is designed to only work with the engine. It does not have the ability to run off of battery power. So the engine must be running, otherwise that air conditioning will not work. It also provides heat if you want heat. So right now we have it selected to cool, and normally you're going to want to run this on auto. I selected low, however, to keep the fan speed low, otherwise you get a lot of noise in here and it's bad for my recording. And then obviously you can turn it off there. Here we have this little icon, I don't know what that is, a snowflake or a flower, I don't know. Basically that turns on your internet router that's in the back that I showed you. Obviously that has no meaning if you do not activate the system to take advantage of their subscription service. And then we have our settings page. Our settings page, you can set the brightness on the screen. You have cleaning mode that'll turn off the screen for about 15 seconds to allow you to wipe the screen. You can set your time. Floor plan is set at the factory temperature. You can set it to Celsius if you want. Mobile app, this does not have that capability. You can add the wireless module or the Bluetooth module to make this give you the ability to download an app and control everything that you can control here through a mobile app, as long as you're within Bluetooth range of the coach. However, that is an optional thing. It does not have the module installed by default. We can add that if you wanted it. Network diagnostics just gives you basically a status on all the different inputs into this system. Typically I just look at this stuff to see if I see gray and green bubbles. Gray and green means we're okay, or typically that would mean that we're okay. Main thing you don't want to see is red bubbles. Red bubbles will indicate there's a short or problem in that particular circuit. So that's a rundown of this incredibly amazing Firefly touch control system. So that is the best one by far. So anyhow, another thing about these bench seats, there is storage up underneath. You probably can't see it. GoPros are not known for their low light capabilities, so trust me, there is storage under there that you cannot see. Under this side, this other couch on this side, there is storage also. However, there is our breaker box for our 110 breakers is right there. So that being said, there's just, you got to be careful with some of the wiring that's underneath this bench seat, because that comes in under here and routes out over there somewhere. You just got to watch out for some of that wiring. Now, up front, I'm going to go over some of this stuff on the front. I'm going to hit on the major things. However, just finishing up back here in the back. So here, of course, we have our TV that's integrated, our speakers, that's zone 1 from our radio system over here, our Fusion or Garmin Fusion radio. And then these are ports for the AC. Now that AC is not, is not the same one that you control up there in the cabin, in the cockpit. This is the Premier Air that runs off of the engine that provides AC for back here. So that's got some vents back here, right there, and I believe there's one in the bathroom, in addition to these right here. So this provides the AC. That is an intake port, and of course our speakers. And additionally, this door is a power door, so it's electric. You do not yank on it. You can operate it by pressing that button there. There's a button in the front where the driver can open the door when he rolls up to pick up people. So we can just press that button, it'll open for us. Or we can press this button to open it. This right here is an emergency release. Should this door fail to work or the battery was dead and you need to get out. So you basically, right now it's in auto mode. That means the electric motor is engaged. You can turn it as indicated here on this label, and it'll disengage the motor, so you can operate this like a regular manual door using that button. But right now it's configured to be used as an electric door. So now we're going to talk about some stuff here in the front. There's an e-brake right there, emergency brake or parking brake. They all have armrests up here. Now, things in the front, you have power buttons. So master power, that turns on the power for everything here in the back. You gotta have that on if you're going to be using stuff in the back. It will not, the touch control panels like this will not come on if you do not have your master power on. This BATCOM thing right here, this comes on automatically. This pressing this is not going to do anything. That is that operates automatically. Now this refrigerator button, this provides power to your refrigerator in the back that I showed you earlier. This is a 12-volt refrigerator. Now keep in mind, the reason for that separate power is so you can turn off, let's say you're not using the stuff in the back, but you do have some soft drinks in the refrigerator, so you need to keep those cold, so you can have that powered on and this powered off. So it gives you some flexibility there. And of course, we have this other touch control panel. So this touch control panel is a satellite panel of our master panel over there. The important thing about this is this provides you with some ability to control stuff for your passengers in the back. For example, I can turn on the radio for my passengers in the back from right here. That's our Fusion radio that's back there. Now that radio does not play up front. The only way to get radio up here is through this Mercedes radio. They are not interconnected, so they are separate. But you can turn on the radio for your passengers right here at this panel, just as they can back there. Now the other thing we have master lights. We can turn on the lights for them back there. We can turn on the internet for them back there. If you're subscribed to the service, we can turn on the water pump. As well as we can operate our tank heaters. Now this shows a symbol here for a water heater. This coach is not equipped with a water heater. It wasn't ordered that way. It does not have it. The reason I suspect that's there is somebody added the icon. These are customizable, like icons on a smartphone. You can add and remove different apps and whatnot. Like this, we can go into the settings here, and where we see our control setup, you can see here that we have the ability to add different icons. So somebody has gone in there and added water heater icon, which we're going to have to remove here because this coach is not equipped with that feature. You can, like I said, you can go into this and add all kinds of different controls, like intercom system, obviously water heater, generator, electric reclining sofa. Now, just adding that feature here in the system does not add the feature in reality. So just because you add it doesn't mean you're going to have it, obviously. So like I said, we got to remove that because obviously it does not have that feature. There is no water heater in the build sheet for this coach. So we'll get that taken off. Air conditioning control, so we can control the air conditioning. That's not for the air conditioning, the Mercedes AC up here on the dash. That is for the AC for your passengers in the back, for your guests in the back. And also, the heat, obviously, and our fan speed and our set point for the AC. Normally you want to run this AC on low. I'm sorry, not low, on auto. Low, like I had it on low, just mainly to have less noise while I'm filming this video. Now, the other things we have here, of course, are linked to our Fusion radio and our settings page. So that's about it there. And then this button that controls the door, open and close the door. So I can press this button. By pressing that button, that's going to make our door open and close, and I can close it just by pressing that button again. Now, additionally, I can access the cameras on this coach. I can press that, and I see my bird's eye view of the cameras, as well as I can see a different. Like right now, it's configured to look up the front, or I can look at the bird's eye view of the top. I can look at the wide angle for the rear. intermediate angle for the rear, or I can look straight down at where my hitch is located if I'm trying to hitch up a trailer, or wide angle for the front. The default one is that view right there at the front. The other things we can access here, we can hit our navigation, go to navigation, we can go to radio, we can go to our phone, so we have our phones paired to it, and we have some other navigation or menus for activate or using the different, like a back button and a home button. And it's also touchscreen, so everything that we have buttons for here, you can control by just touching the screen. So multiple ways to control stuff here. Not only do you have those ways to control stuff, you also have buttons here. So for example, this little black little square, this allows us to control the screen over there. So it's like a little mouse pad for that screen. We have a back button and a home button for that as well. In this little black square, this allows us to control that screen right there in our instrument cluster. So this one controls that stuff, this one controls this stuff. Pretty neat, huh? And then this has active cruise control, so we can control the following distance here, as well as turn it on right here, or I'm sorry, turn it on here. And then also a volume control for our radio right there. And this is of course our radio. That's about the main stuff I wanted to show you. Oh, you know what? A couple of things I'm forgetting. So these fobs, obviously you got to have a fob like this in the cab for this van to operate. Otherwise, you can't start it. They operate through radio frequency with the computer on the Mercedes computer on the Mercedes side of things. So this rarely happens, but there's a possibility that one day you could go press start and the key's right here, and it's basically telling you that you need to put the key up here. I forget the exact message. I believe it says something to the effect of place the key in the appropriate position or something to that effect. And you're thinking like, it's right here. It's literally right here. Why are you not starting? It's possible that you could be someplace where there's a lot of radio interference and this thing cannot communicate with the Mercedes computer. So that's a problem, right? Can't start our van, you're stuck. So what do you do? So at that point, what you do, you're gonna grab this fob and you're gonna place it. There's a hole right here. It's probably not real easy to see, but there's a little hole right here at the bottom of the center console. Place it in that hole, and then you're gonna put your foot on the brake and start the van like normal, and it's gonna start like normal. Then you can remove the key, put it back where it went. You probably never have that happen again. It's rare, but it can happen. You know, it's important to know how to do that. Otherwise, you'll end up stuck or having to use the SOS feature to call Mercedes for assistance. Additionally, we have storage up here in this cubby. This is also a wireless charging pad. You can set your phone there and it'll charge. This connection connects to this radio, and it'll give you the ability to use Apple CarPlay or Android Auto on the radio. The other ones are charging ports. This radio also has the capability by downloading the Mercedes Me app, you can interact with this radio a lot more and access additional features on this system. Some of these even have the ability to remote start through the app, and you can also activate the onboard Wi-Fi router. So this van is actually equipped with two Wi-Fi routers. The Mercedes one is here, and the one that Midwest Automotive Designs installs in the back. Either one works very well, and my understanding is this does work even when the van is off, so you don't have to have the van on to use it if you're camping. But at any rate, so this about brings us to the end of the video. One additional thing I'll mention, here on our doors we have our window controls here, as well as our mirror controls. This van is equipped with electric folding mirrors. And also this has power seats. You control the back here, front to back here. You have 3 memory positions, heated seats here, and power locks there. So, well, thank you for watching. I hope you found that useful. If you enjoy this kind of content, subscribe to my channel. We'll see you on the next video.